brand new vinyl has just come out.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So this is Gong, Rejoice I'm Dead. This is the thing that should be, Dave.
Is that right?
And this was the first song that we wrote for the album.
We played this on the last two.
And we used to sing, originally, without going out beyond my door, I can walk across the sky. Without going out beyond my door, I can walk across the sky. And that's all we sang.
And that was it. Just repeated that. It's a bit bored.
Yeah, I know.
Strong start.
Strong start.
It's a strong start.
Yeah. Unusual. It's not what you would expect from a Gong album.
I think they're worried now. The Gong fans are now worried, thinking,
oh, absolutely.
Where's this going?
What the hell is this?
This is going to hell in a handbasket.
This is not Gong. This is Gong. This is
Out beyond my door, walk across the fucking sky.
Yeah.
Without.
This is your influence, your bad influence. I mean, David Allen wouldn't.
No, but this started off as a Fabio tune, right?
It did.
And then it was very gentle, and we sort of rocked it up in his absence.
It did go. It went into another section, and you vetoed that.
Did I?
So
Yeah.
let's just
keep with that. Yeah.
But I love that melody. I think is really great. The way it hits that major seven.
It's like what?
Just seven.
Major seven.
Right.
We've got musicians in the band.
You need to learn about this kind of stuff before you join.
Steve, you really don't need to learn about this stuff. I don't know any of this. I know none of this.
They never said anything at the modular synthesizer school about major seven.
Well, you don't need to because they're polyphonic. I mean, they're monophonic.
Yeah, the girl does it for you.
You just treat each note as the be all and end all.
It's now gone all gongy.
Do you know the thing is with Ian East, and I've got to say this about Ian, as soon as that guy puts that sax in his mouth, it's instant gong. Instant gong for all our, channeling these gongy riffs. You could play anything. We could play, he could turn up at a Kasabian session and make it sound like gong.
It's still quite
could make
rocky.
Meshuggah sound
it's
like
still
Gong.
quite rocky for Gong as we speak at the moment. I don't know.
I think Gong's always been rocky. He was in the Camembert Electric, some serious rocky stuff going on.
Yeah.
Fabulous, isn't
Yeah,
that?
but it's back
Sliding
again.
away.
There's a bit of Graham
Sliding
Clark
up.
violin here.
I'm hearing that.
You can hear it better on the surround sound mix.
I've never heard a surround.
You haven't heard it?
Do you know what? The surround sound was done by Bruce Sword, in which who I met in this very flat for the first time in 2012.
Is this the new Pineapple thing?
Oh, we're plugging other bands now, aren't we?
You know.
Is this what this is?
Why not?
Have they paid you
He's
to
a
do
good
this?
lad.
Have they? What are they giving you?
Well, we're not
Why-
paying him for this mix.
Why did you
Are we not paying for the mix?
Why did you choose this track first?
To me, it always sounded like the opener.
We opened on the last tour. We played this as the first number.
Hocket there. That's
Do you
a
know what a
hocket right
hocket is?
there.
Do you know what a hocket is?
That.
No.
A hocket. I didn't know what a hocket was either.
Tell me what
What's
a
a
hocket
hocket?
A hocket, my understanding, is when two instruments bounce against each other, ba 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 ba.
So
One on the
playing
off,
the
one on
same, playing a melody, but it's split between two instruments.
Exactly. Yep.
Note for note.
It's very old in music. See, you've got your A7 or whatever you called it, whatever you guys called it. I've got the hocket.
Yeah.
Take that, Daddy-o.
It's like that thing.
Take
In
that,
there, I'm
prof.
sorry, I haven't a clue where they kind of read something. One says one word and one says another.
And then we sing this. He's Fabio Goffetti. We'll get more of that later.
He does it. He hasn't played yet. He does that in the next.
Yeah, he just did it. He laid one down.
There you go.
Steve Hillage going to make a psychedelic noise now. Hot.
Yeah. It's a nice moment.
Ah, Steve. Psychedelic Steve. Paralyzed by fear.
Steve's a big supporter of the band. He's kind of gives us lots of advice and stuff.
This is something that we do in this current gong that I don't think has been done in many gongs.
You
Which
mean
is
the
the
harmony
multi-harmony vocals, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're on pretty much all the song. Riff.
So this is the
Cheb wrote this riff.
second track in. People are thinking we've turned into the Beach Boys or something.
Not after that riff, they haven't. you'll hear that riff in a sort of far more profound way later on.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
there don't you think this is a mystery spoiler? Hopefully those seeking the mystery
Well, I think
will be
they'll know the
obfuscated
album.
enough not to come and listen to this.
Yeah.
There's a little bit.
Contains spoilers.
There's a little bit of knife roll
I dare say.
coming
probably.
through, but that's understandable.
That's hard, isn't it? That's harsh.
No, but there
No,
is.
it's inevitable.
I think every member's brought something to this, personally. They kind of...
This riff here, we call it a malfunctioning computer, malfunctioning robot or computer. Computer malfunction.
Yeah.
That's what that riff's called. In a minute we've got
Comes in again in a bit.
in a minute we've got the condensation coming down the walls of the tomb of Nefertiti bit. all the riffs when you write music before you've got maybe proper bands have speak about musical names.
Hold
For
on,
me,
hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's gone psychedelic again.
No, sorry. Who wrote this bit?
We all did.
See, that's lovely.
It's
But this is
all
now.
right.
Now all of a sudden, I'm buying it now.
Oh, right.
I'm not saying I didn't buy it beforehand, but all of a sudden, yeah, because this is now changed. It's up the game a bit now.
Hillage the Spillage.
It's up the game, and all of a sudden, I think this is where all of a sudden the Gong fans are going to go. Wait a minute.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Hold on. This is worth my 59 pence.
In fact, this is the 59.
Yeah.
So when we should just in homage to Camembert, we should have done that. So for me anyway, when you write stuff instrumentally, you sort of I give it names. So this bit was the coming up is the condensation coming down the walls of the tomb of Nefertiti. Oh no, this was the journey across the River Styx section. You have to give them, and so because when you're rehearsing, you go, okay, well look, we'll take it from the end of the journey across the River Styx section, and we'll go into the condensation dripping down the walls of the tomb of Nefertiti section into the big riff.
Because you can't write music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
I can write it.
We just can't remember.
Can you smell marijuana? I think it's just this music, maybe. And then I keep smelling.
I think it's in his shirt. This is ingrained
probably
in
is,
Dave's shirt.
Oh, hot.
You like that?
See, what about him,
This is
isn't
him.
it?
Of course. Well, it is now. Yeah. He's the alpha male, you know. We all.
I'm the alphabet.
When do you come in? When?
He's the
What do you mean,
come
come in? I'm being supportive at the moment. Yeah, there are moments when, when I'm a little more to the fore.
Is it a fight? Is it like when you're about are you sort of fighting for your big moments?
Not as a bass player, generally. You know, I'm the supportive one. David Allen always said bass players were the mothers of the band.
Really?
And it does feel like that sometimes. I have to kind of slap them about a bit.
But without great bass lines, I think the bass lines last for. They're the things people in the end they
Computer malfunction.
That's right.
concentrate on what we're talking about. It's not about you.
Think about the bass line. I know, but Stevie does a solo.
He's
now,
going to
so
struggle
we're
to
here.
think about bass.
No, I've
No, we
it's
should
a
talk
vague
about
theory.
this is Steve Hillage's
Steve Sturt.
entry.
Here he comes.
His
He's
big
done it.
entry.
Hark
His
a
big,
chap.
Here I come. Little.
Jim, when we put that bell on.
We put a
of
bell
course,
on. We put a
yeah.
bell on.
Mark
Great
Crawford
track.
makes
This is
this.
a great track.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Is that Steve Hillage?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, you can see
Who else could it be?
You can see
He's the guy that can play.
He's the guitar. It's just a proper bit of guitar work.
This is where musicians goes in.
Perhaps his guitar's more expensive than yours.
Excuse me. No one.
Well, actually, it probably is worth more than yours
Yeah.
now. There's no
Oh,
Steve
it's
Hillage
his,
playing.
You signed it.
Well,
Wait till last time I'm watching the synth.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Straight four.
What?
Straight four over it. Come on, let's hear
Really?
it.
Drums are.
Love it.
All right.
Love a straight four over it.
Frustrated drummer.
I'd love to be
Well,
a drummer.
I want to
Most
be a
important
drummer.
instrument of the band.
That's what I wanted to play.
This is. We've got the most badass drummer in this band. I mean, Steve, I've got to tell you, anyone.
So I can't play drums in. I've got to find something else.
Steve,
See, this now, if I can't wait to see this live.
you're going to see it. We're going to do this one in the next tour.
I should hope so. What are you playing? I'm changing the subject while we're all headbanging. What are you playing the old stuff? Are you going to keep doing the same?
There's some classics that we
You're going to change it around?
You can't not do on riff, right? You can't not do it Master Builder because it's...
Can't Kill Me is still... I can't imagine not doing a gig and not playing that.
Oh, I can't imagine not doing...
What about Sprinkling the Clouds?
What we've been talking about?
Oh,
It's got so much... Wait, hey! Well, it's got to have synth, right?
When you're ready, Steve, man. When you're ready.
That's why you joined, so we can do... That's
Anyway,
why you're joining Gong. So the thing about a bass line, I think, as a frustrated bass player, I think with the guitar, with the guitar part, you're basically sort of scribbling on the top of what's going on. Just scribbling away on the top of what's going on. And I think you can do this, you can do that. It doesn't really make much difference. But I think with the bass line, when the song is written, I think it's almost like a sculpted kind of thing. I think that there's a bass line in there that is the perfect bass line, right? And it's your job to find the perfect bass line. I think there's never ever a perfect guitar line. I think you could do that, But with the bass line, I mean, particularly take Paul McCartney, right? Or I think take Colin Moulding. I think every single bass line you listen to that Colin Moulding plays, you go, well, that's the perfect. You wouldn't change a single note in it.
Yeah.
Colin Moulding always finds the perfect bass, and I think that's on the few times I've played bass, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to find the absolute perfect line that is going to complement the singing and everything, and it's in there. Sometimes you're just pedaling one note, sometimes you're going for a little walk, but it's where you go for a walk.
I think it's hard for guitarists to double on bass. I think it's a
mostly.
different
I think there are a couple that can.
Some who can do it.
They always play ahead of the beat.
You're trying to say shit at bass.
No. I know I'm okay, but I'm not great. I'm okay in the studio. I think I can write parts what I would live.
When you
I'm always ahead of the beat. I can't.
When you play a previously known track live, like an old classic, you need to have certain bits that are there nailed in stone. Like the bass line would have to. You can't mess around with the bass line.
Well,
you don't want to mess around with too many of the riffy things.
You definitely have to bring your own approach to it. Otherwise, you're just copying what's gone before.
But
I mean, obviously, if it's a riff, it's a riff,
Yeah,
and you've got to play a riff.
Yeah, I
But
think
anything else,
if we were playing something like Mr. Longshanks, well, no, because I mean, just take an example like You Can't Kill Me, right? When you do that, obviously you've got to play the verses and the intro. If you've got to play that, but then when you go off in the improv section,
no, even in the
every
verses,
night,
in the verses, it's different every night. I play different. Every
oh,
night.
for me, I play it like David does.
I don't. I mean, I use moments that are on the album. So.
But when we go to the
not
improv section,
right.
it's different each night.
Well, that's because it's the word improv.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. Yeah.
That's a giveaway.
But I'm talking about the bits where there shouldn't be improv because the fans want it note for note.
No, they don't.
I tend to be quite.
Oh, you have to say that, but they do.
No, they don't.
But you have to say that.
I'm quite.
But they do.
The thing is,
Well,
the thing is,
what
it was
we
never the same. Even when David was in the band, it was never the same. It wasn't the same as the
But
album.
they want it the same as the album.
Well, they never got it.
They can
They've
swing.
Never
they can
got
hang.
it.
They can go and.
I don't think there's ever been a live recording where it's of Gong that sounds like the album.
That's a
I'm
great
probably
track. That's track 2 called Rejoice. That's
It's
a
only
title.
track 2.
Oh yeah. This is the
what's track? What's
the
track?
metal track.
No, well, no, it isn't because it's on the other side.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's on this. Oh, okay. So you can tell I've never heard the
Deal
vinyl
with it,
before.
baby.
Oh, David wrote this one. Mostly.
Yeah, this is interesting. We should talk about this one, I suppose.
David
If you
and
get the
Fabio.
bonus, if you get the bonus edition of this
Oh, here's the plug.
album,
Here's
Is
the
that
plug.
a Tim bonus?
If you get the bonus edition,
you'll hear David's demo of this, and you'll also hear a tune that Fabio wrote called Electricity, which, well, basically we were always gonna do this one, which is brilliant, and we just thought that's fantastic. And then Cheb had the idea, hey, let's as a middle bit, let's slot in Electricity, and it's gonna work, and it did work.
It did uncannily.
But I love this one. It feels like it's funny that this is sort of a real for Gong at least. It's got sort of like swingy feel.
Yeah, David presented us with a demo of this when we were putting ideas together for the last album, I See. It's kind of a twist on, what was the track called?
Occupy, yeah.
Occupy.
From the previous
So
record.
he was sort of spinning with that same idea, and he came up with this one. And also the Floating Anarchy Manifesto, which comes in later on as well. So he was just kind of spinning with the same idea.
So this feels in the spirit of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Well,
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But some people think this is kind of. It depends which era of Gong you got into.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, it's a bit kind of angry.
yeah, but
Dissonant. This is the electricity section. Fabio Cannon.
What do you call this bit? What's this called?
this is just called the electricity bit.
Oh.
This is the electricity.
This, that's the Dave Lombardo film. Yeah, I mean this is. I love it. What a great band to be in. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
hot.
We played a couple of tracks on the radio.
All right.
Kavus gave me a couple.
Tame Impala don't get to do
Went
this.
down so well.
Right. Which tracks did you play?
2 and 7.
That's the name of the track too, isn't it?
I don't do names. I just do track
You
numbers.
just, I thought you were talking time signatures.
Track 2, track 7. Why you bothered to give them names, I don't know.
Sorry about that. On the next album that you're on,
It'll just put a bit techno by the end.
Yeah.
Gong's techno phase.
They played. Yeah, Steve Davis killed Gong. Steve Davis ruined the Gong.
What's that? Oh, Unspeakable started. See,
Yeah.
we'll get to that bit.
This is really fun to play. We've played this one live a couple of times
Yeah.
now. Really fun to play.
That's great.
But this is perfect headbanging stuff, isn't it?
Damn right.
Wonderful. Psychedelic stuff behind. Crazy psychedelic behind. Perfect.
What market is this?
Matthew right at the front, giving it large.
Mark Riley like this one.
Yeah, that was a fun session.
I'm so good now.
Oh.
Oh.
In a funny way, well, they're all my favourites, but this
you
was an early one. This was an early one.
No, I like
What I like
this.
is I don't get to sing on it, so I don't have to sing. I don't have to sing.
Well,
on
I think a lot of other people will like it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to sing on
This is a beautiful track. This is beautiful.
So this is David Floating Anarchy Manifesto, probably a couple of lines from that. Yeah, I guess I put this one together mostly. Me and Fabio wrote this.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The vocals, David Allen going was something I found left over from the last album that I tweaked a little to fit. But yeah, it's a lovely mood. So this is Model Village.
Yeah, I suppose, the tunes, it started off with Dave and Fabio, and then obviously this one came together reasonably easily, I would have said. It wasn't the easiest. It took a while, to get some of the transitions sounding really good.
Yeah.
But I really like the way it goes into the very psychedelic section in the middle.
The concept came about on the tour bus on the last tour when we were discussing the idea of the next tour being around towns with model villages.
I really want to go and visit Model Village. I used
we
to
got
enjoy
this
a
kind
Model Village, and you think a UK tour, you
that'd
could
be
probably
great.
fit it around. You could probably fit a tour around going and visit Model Villages on the way.
Or you could just go to that installation we saw at Festival 23.
That was good. Yeah, Jimmy Corti. Jimmy Corti did.
Is that right? Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Bring Jimmy Corti to...
Let's get him in and he'd be in the band. Come on.
No, you just bring the unit to the event.
I like it.
Unusual for Gong, but I think it sounds nice. And on this whole album, acoustic guitar. You don't often get a lot of acoustic guitar in Gong.
I'm not sure you can hear it well enough on this.
It's a shame because it gives it quite a nice.
I know, I love it. On the surround sound you can hear it more. I got it more up.
I've never heard a surround.
Well, we're not in a position to have surround sound.
So the idea was when you're a kid and you're growing up, you kind of have this impression that the whole world is perfect and everything seems safe and everything seems as it should be. And as you grow older, you kind of begin to realise that it's not.
You were right.
It's not like that.
Safety
The world
first.
isn't like that.
Well, you got to live in a safe. No, I wear a high-vis vest, just as a matter of course,
Well, I
and
know
you'll
you
find
do.
that it's a very safe world.
I suppose you're right there.
If you carry a red
That's
triangle
where
around
we're
with
going
you,
wrong.
You can get another breakdown. I mean, I carry one in my little satchel.
Yeah.
You carry a red triangle around with you, and you carry a high. Look, you don't have to wear the high-vis vest. If you're in this situation, look, say you're at a restaurant. All right, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Maybe you'll burn yourself on a plate. Actually, you might. Put your high-vis vest on.
What if you eat a slug? I've done that.
Well, David had the hand at the back of the hat
You do.
that warded off ne'er-do-wells from behind. I don't think you need the high vis, you just need the hand,
Yeah.
the go-away hand.
Don't mess with the hand.
But will that qualify as? I don't think that meets regs.
Do you know one thing that you've decided not to do, obviously as serious musicians, that perhaps only David could do, and if I said the word silliness, it would be wrong. But
I think it's the right word.
I think perhaps only David could be the playful. The playfulness of perhaps the 70s albums of madness in a way that it's the music wonderful, but it's the one thing that's, I'm not saying it's missing.
No, I know you're right. You're absolutely right.
It would be more a case of these are all great songs. What if you took the stupidity of some of the lines that were in the 70s?
Yeah.
It would be hard to recreate that, so you couldn't do that. I assume.
I kind of feel like it would be contrived, but you're absolutely right. And I guess you have to go, look, that was David's thing, and look, David's gone, and that was his thing. I feel like if we tried, because that was David's natural state.
He tried too hard, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like this music is po-faced in any way. I mean, that would be the worst ever. And there's a lot of po-faced music.
Yeah, if you try to totally recreate that
in that sort of prog world, but it's very po-faced. But no, you know, but yeah, of course. I mean, that's David's thing, right? It would feel, but same actually. But if we were singing about octave doctors and pothead pixies. And that kind of, I really feel like it would just seem bogus. It would be like, we're trying to do it in the. It's almost trying to be a tribute band. You're trying to be a pastiche.
You're trying to unearth and try to
I don't feel like we're pastiching the music, because I think whatever this is, it's kind of the kind of music that us lot would have made anyway. I do think that the fact it's been done under the banner of Gong allows certain kinds of riffs to come out that maybe in other bands I would have felt like, personally anyway, would have felt like, that just sounds too gongy. You know, in the same way that were I ever afforded to play guitar in Black Sabbath, I might have some riffs that are a bit Sabbath, but definitely there's riffs that I've written in my life that it's too gongy, and now, of course, nothing's too gongy. So a lot of the riffs that come out, you know, and I've got loads more. I've got a bank of the too gongy riffs.
There's a pressure on to deliver. With, you know, in the line of is it Lois Lane or something? You know, he's a hard act to follow, or whatever it was in the Superman film.
Okay.
You know, nobody's going to be following you. I mean, it's tough. It's pressure on to deliver.
I think we probably felt that before we started doing gigs. Yeah.
I think.
But once
Gong's never made a record like a tune like this before, not that I know of. But and yet this seems like Gong to me.
But Gong has always kind of tried. Has gone down different tracks, and there's always been different musical influences. And I think, we're just free to do. And I don't know if there's any other band where you could do this, where you could just bring in any influences and develop them into a song. I don't know. Maybe you could, but with Gong, it's always been the case. You can always. David was always happy to have other stuff coming in and influencing the music and.
Well, actually, I tell you what though, on that tack about not being any serious. On the other end, there was a tune that's now on the bonus disc called "Someone You'll Never Be." Now, the thing about that, I thought everybody really in the band really loved it, and Johnny Green really loved it. I think it was one of his favourite songs, and I sort of put the kibosh on that and said, look, and it just feels. Well, I thought it felt too much like my miserablest stuff that I do with my stuff, Knife World or whatever. But also I just felt like, no, this is one step too far. It's a little bit too miserablest for Gong. Gong's never really been miserablest. And so that's why it's on the bonus. But I love the tune. That's why, and I don't know whether it would have fitted on the album. But I got real cold feet about it. It all felt a bit mean.
But we did feel it was getting a bit long anyway, didn't we?
Yeah. Although I love it.
10 tracks. But.
So the album, yeah.
But it's still a great track. So you need to get the extras disc to hear it. Oh, it'll be online soon anyway for free. So you may as well just download.
So let's talk about how this one was made, because this was David singing.
Yeah, this is kind of an interlude. When we were in Brazil It wasn't when you were there. It was before. It was the year before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We played with you in that rehearsal room, and then we did a tour of Brazil, and we had an apartment, and then one night late we were listening to ideas for the I See You album, and I was playing David one of the ideas I had, which is this tune, and he was listening to it on headphones, and then just started improvising this poem effectively, which is kind of he's thinking about an old girlfriend of his called Beatrix, who's this French lady who we met when we played in the south of France the year before. And it just seemed like a lovely moment, and I just happened to be recording it on my handheld recorder, so then I kind of put it together with the original tune, and then I got Ian to play some sax over the end of it.
What I really like about this is that the way that the atmosphere really changes, it completely dries up. You know, the rest of the album, we've got the big psychedelic sound, and I like that this dries
It's
up
really
because it's
small.
almost like you're in the room with David
Exactly,
kind of
yeah,
thing, and it's just like, you know, the mask slips for a bit, and you're there, and there's David, you know, the guy who
And it was
started
just
the
in
whole
the
thing.
moment,
and then we
absolutely,
go
yeah,
back
that's
to, and then it's sort of,
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like it breaks the fourth wall or something. It's really
Well,
nice.
in that respect, it is like a Gong album where you get some really banging tunes,
Well, that's
and then
true.
you get some little bit that's just
Yeah,
seems
just a
to
little
be-
snippet of
and
something.
and it's enough to there's respite of more
Yeah,
banging
yeah.
before the
Well-
more banging or whatever happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So sort of prostitute poem or something coming
Yeah,
in on
yeah,
Angel
yeah.
Thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Because when
This is
David
great,
came
this
in when David came in the studio and he played a track from his solo album of when he predicted by accident the Twin Towers thing.
Fucking
Yeah,
hell,
that's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was,
that thing that was like, yeah, he produced the album the year before or something. It was just, you'd have to listen to the show if you.
No, I have, you know,
No,
I've
I'm
got-
not saying
I've
you,
got-
but if anybody was listening,
yes.
what on earth we're
Oh,
talking
indeed,
about?
yeah, yeah.
It was like
We just broke the fourth wall then and looked at the camera.
just amazing.
Yeah, that's-
What camera?
Yeah, hey. Yeah, mind reveal. Yeah, but
Oh, just,
yeah, this is a nice one, Visions. Yeah, yeah, this is a.
Joe Banks had an interesting
Oh
take
yeah.
on this, didn't he? This was an important moment for him when we did an interview with him recently.
All rain and laughter.
This feels like transcendental in a way.
We wanted to call this one "Rain and Laughter" because that's what I sing. Not that you know, but we
That's a good
deferred to
title.
Ian. We did. Ian was seems
Fabio.
or Fabio was keen on
came up
Vision.
with
So,
it.
excuse me.
It's crossing my mind that this album, as it's unfolding, while we're
It's-
chatting, is unlike any other music out there at the moment. There's no
Yes.
made an album that could be, you could go, oh, this now sounds like such
Yeah,
and
this is
such.
where
So-
we keep going wrong. We never follow any trends, and
No, but I
any way of making money, we seem to be very good at avoiding.
Well, I don't think Gong isn't really synonymous to making money, nor would it.
No, well, that's always been David's thing as well, isn't it? That's why he was always poor.
But it fits the bill because there's nobody out there that say somebody had never heard Gong records,
Yeah.
right, and the first album they're ever going to hear is this.
They're going to be.
They're not going to say it sounds like,
No.
or are they? I don't think they are.
Do you know what just struck me, and I haven't thought of this before, because you can't presuppose what people are going to make of it, nor can you presuppose what people can make of old Gong, and it would certainly be wrong to kind of compare this to an old Gong album. Well, I think it'd be arrogant. The only album really we can have any right to compare it to would be I See You. Because, and people, everyone has their own relationship. It depends where you came in. I mean, where I came in was around sort of Camembert, not at the time, and so that was my way into Gong. But I think if there was such a person who heard this for the first time and was digging it, then I think going back into Gong, you would definitely, whatever it was you dug about this, you would definitely get plenty of from you and from, Angel's Egg and from Camembert and from Radio Gnome or whatever. Even in my arms.
You're the only one who knows the lyrics because we can't hear them.
Something about even in my arms, I think.
But the vocals came. The vocals are the last thing that went down on this. It started off with an improvisation of Fabio on the gliss, and then the main melody thing is me playing Ebo on the fretless bass. So that's me, the bass being featured, even though you didn't know it.
And then you said you want to do.
Then sax was added, and then we put the vocals on at the end.
Well, I had the track, and I thought I was going to do some guitar on it, and I was just sort of singing along. And I thought, you know what, and I rang you up and said, "Do you mind if I you mind if I sing on this?
And I thought I'd finish the track.
Yeah. We played this on the radio show the other day. Actually.
Yeah, was this one by accident?
No, by purpose.
You don't play things by accident, do you?
If we press the wrong button. Yeah. No, it's wonderful.
It's nice, isn't it? Do you think it's make a good T-shirt?
That'd be a good T-shirt.
A little bit.
Well, if you
Would
stand
you
on your
wear
head,
that?
if you stand on your head, I will, yeah.
Would you wear that T-shirt?
I'm waiting for the free T-shirt.
We'll see what we can do.
I've never seen you in a knife full of T-shirt, Stephen. You've had plenty of those free.
It's just not. They just don't fit the same as a Gong T-shirt. I've got the Gong.
He rocks the camembert. I saw him on telly in the old
on
camembert.
that
Camembert.
telly box. Yeah.
I've got a knife full of T-shirts. Here we go.
Here we go. On this one,
This was the first track.
The second that we got together.
Second track that we wrote, but the first in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
Pulled together.
Is this track 7 on the CD?
It is.
Yeah, this was the one that was
fantastic.
started in my shed, wasn't it? This started in the shed.
I brought along the bass line, and
You
then
don't have to boast you got a shed.
Well, what a boast!
studio.
What a boast! He's got fuck having a yacht or a.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No, we're really pleased
Who
with this one.
did this bit? Who did this little riff?
Which riff?
Do-do-do-do.
There's many things.
bit.
Going
That's
on.
Dave's
but
riff,
who's-
isn't it?
The bass line obviously is mine.
You keep talking over the top. This is beautiful.
We tell you who wrote all the
Isn't that the
riffs.
idea?
Oh yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, this
then
one is so
Ian's
pleased
playing
with.
snippets of the riff.
This is when I knew because you two both
Yeah,
know me.
He's there, man. He's there.
You two both know me, and I'm a stressor. I'm a man who I'm very anxious. I'm
There
very
are
stressy.
moments.
I'm very stressy, and we've been offered this record deal to make another album, which insanely or maybe sanely we'd gone for. And I got into a right panic a few weeks before, or just before we were about to sign. Oh look, controversial. And I said, look, I'm worried about whether we,
It's a
What were
moment.
you saying?
No, I'd worried about, God, are we going to have any songs? And I got into a right old panic. And it was when we wrote this one, when we got this one together, I thought we're fine. Because I love it. And I knew, this sort of mapped out really how the album was going to sound for me.
And what's great about it is that
I really-
everybody contributed to the composition.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like amazing how the journey it took is really interesting.
The thing is, like.
Gun to my head is my favourite, I think.
Yeah,
just because what it represents.
It goes off in different tangents, but what it's got Gong fingerprint on it, but it's not copy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
I don't know what that means.
I'll take that.
But I'll take it. I don't. Well, it's like we keep talking about it being gongy or something, but for me, it's just it's what we do. It doesn't
but you're
feel like
musicians.
it
You're
doesn't
musicians.
feel
You
like
don't-
we didn't have to think about that. It just seemed to happen.
No, but you don't count because you're musicians. You don't understand. You're musicians. To the Gong fan, they need the essence.
I suppose so. Yeah. Well, it's lucky that.
But they
David,
want something new,
it's
but they want
lucky
the
that-
same. They want old and new at the same time, and this is it.
Yeah, maybe so. David asked us to carry on. He desperately wanted this to carry on in this kind of, and we did.
When we had this, particularly when we had this, I knew we were in actually. I love it.
That's a great riff.
Thank you.
He was talking about the bass.
Oh yeah.
Pathetic.
It's just
If I was going to be a musician, I think I'd be a bass guitarist.
Nice one. So would I.
I don't know what it is, but
that's
Oh,
I mean, for me, that's just
definitely
looking
the
up to the
most fun.
heavens. That's just the clouds parting.
no, that kind of is a
looking up
hint
to
of
the
it, and you
heavens
kind of
and
back
just
down.
like, come on, let's have
Is
this.
here's another moment.
Giving praise.
When you play this
Giving
live,
praise
have you
to
played this live yet?
Yeah, we have done. Yeah.
What was the reaction like?
Good.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah,
bet
good.
it was fantastic. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, we've got a live version.
Can you do this at Gorilla?
Oh yeah, we
Well,
are.
we will.
Right, I'm going to be down the front. I'm going to do a Matthew Wright down the front.
Yeah.
Although the lyrics didn't get written until about a few days before, as with all of them, I wrote the lyrics on the day of singing.
That's right, yeah.
Look at Ian, the little trill. So I'm really pleased with this fucker, honestly.
I'm sort of agreeing, because now I'm in the band as a musician. I have to sort of agree to I don't even know what a trill means. I thought it was something you gave budgies.
Oh yeah, the trill. Yeah, that would look quite nice if there's a little moon in there, wouldn't it? Should I draw one? There's that riff the first time.
Do it.
No, really nice.
Wouldn't it be good if like for the Gong album, obviously going back in time, it was considered to be a little bit of a, the tea thing was obviously going on. That you had the next level of speakers could also, a bit like Scratch and Sniff, they would also exude the smell of the music.
I can't imagine that. Smell isn't one of
So yeah, you get the
senses
atmosphere
that I
of
use very much.
so whilst the speakers are hitting them, there's also the smell of a concert in the room.
I like what you're saying.
It's rare. It's rare to be on the other end of a tune, having written it and recorded it, and to look back on it and go, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So often, while you're making a tune, you're thinking, because every tune you make, right? Every tune you make has to be the most, well, for me at least, has to be the most something you've ever done. Because you don't want to repeat yourself. So even if it's not the best thing, it's the most rocking, or it's the most psychedelic, or even in your own abstract way, it has to be the most something. And often, but also, generally when you're writing something, you sort of feel, while you're writing it, you're feeling, yeah, this is the best thing I've ever done. And it's rare to get to the other side, then you can look back and go, okay, yeah, that was okay, but I wish I could have. But this one, listening back, it's like, yeah, that's what we were trying to say.
I mean,
that's what we were trying to say with this one.
When you're putting music together, it's all about the decisions, isn't it? You're constantly making decisions. There's so many options, there's so many ways you can go. And there was 5 of us in the room, and we're all kind of, coming up with ideas. And it's always about those decisions, and you're never quite sure whether you've got them right until
Now
the end.
the journey from here now right to the end, it's just a really, really good journey because it's an adventure. Tunes are an adventure.
This was Fabio's
instrumental passages.
chord sequence, wasn't it?
Started with, and then I started putting some funny chords in.
That's right. Yeah. And Ian changed the timing of some of it.
Yeah.
And then Chev did as well.
Yeah. So that's how it worked. And then
But it wasn't
I think at this point,
initially, was it?
I started putting all the.
Yeah.
There's a ring.
It's like it was meant to be.
It's morphed.
I think
now,
of this.
isn't
I
it?
think of this is the cardiac bit.
What a moment.
And I'm really, really pleased with this one. God can
the
judge
next time
me
we
on
get
this
to
one.
that point, the next time we get to that point, in rehearsal we left that gap, which is what we then recreated for the album.
When you're playing, when you're going on the road playing these live, you're playing these more true to the album. You're not messing around.
Actually, no, you're right. Yeah, because they're new as
because
well.
they're new, so you're playing them more or less true to the album.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Couldn't get this fucker out of my head. When we once we came up with this.
Cheb came up with this bass bit. suggested that I should play that. It was a good idea.
This is when we get fun.
Here we go. Great. And who came up with this riff?
Me, man.
You sure it wasn't Sherman?
No, positive.
By now they're down the front in the pit. They're all gone by now. Yeah.
They will be, yeah. I did wonder, because there's a shift, isn't there? On the fourth time through, we lose a big.
Jabba, jabba, dum,
Which I did think, is that going to screw people up? Is that going to really bother people?
This is Gong, dude.
Yeah.
I hear.
No, it works for me now.
I hear Quawa looking for a new bassist.
I'm there, man. I'm there.
Ian giving it fuck. Come on.
What's good? I think one other good thing about this album is it's not overly produced. It's not like being analysed and everything.
It's underly produced.
It's underly produced in a nice way. It's not being.
That was Cheb's idea to bring this tune back in. Brilliant. And that's him doing the high voice there.
He's an amazing.
He's incredible. Cheb is an amazing everything. He's a better guitar player than me. He's a better drummer than anyone.
Luckily, he hasn't picked up the bass in my presence. So
I bet you could give him the whole Stanley Clark. I bet he could Clark it.
I'm sure he could.
He Clark it right up that dude.
Right.
I suppose he's okay on the synths as well.
Yeah, I bet he is. Yeah.
Well,
great voice, but yeah, he's doing the high voice here.
What I like about it is it's sort of like it's just you just let this go, haven't you? You just let it go with the flow. Yeah.
It's great.
Because you could have done one where it ended up going back to the original.
I know.
Classic we can try, yeah.
Hey, it's about the mystery.
It's a journey. It's a journey, man.
The only problem with this is, this in a way is the end record. This is the end track on the record.
Interesting, you should say that.
Because then where do you go? I know you've got to turn it over if you're listening to the vinyl, but if you're listening on CD, there's something else to come that's just tough for the next track.
Yeah.
Where's the next track?
The next track is To Endless Restless Seas I Come.
Which was...
Took us a while to get... I tell you that, the thing about that ending is that we did it, sort of a really good rehearsal version of that.
You keep talking, I'll turn it over.
Oh, right,
nice.
Yeah, the pressure's on this track.
Well, this is a funny one. Didier.
So we've got Didier
there
on the duduk there. Duduk, have you ever tried playing a duduk?
These last two actually were the two that took longest to
No, I can try anything.
These were the two that took the longest to come together. I think this one was, we all really liked it. We weren't sure if it was Gongish, but lyrically this is very much about sort of this is the most specifically about David. I think most of them are just about death in general and the transition and what lies beyond.
Yeah.
This one was very specifically about David's journey. And I had to do the singing 2 or 3 times. I just couldn't.
Well, I sent it back to you. And
said, I wasn't happy.
So you said Kavus is saying he had to do it, and you're saying you told him to do it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with it. Anyway.
He wasn't happy, but he did. But I insisted.
You told him.
I insisted because it needed to have that reflective sound to his voice. He was trying too hard, and now it just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm pleased with it. I can stand to hear my voice in this one. I really like. Again, I really like this one because it doesn't sound like Gong necessarily, although it has Gong elements, the gliss guitar, and obviously it's got Didier on it. But if anything, it could be. I don't know what it's like really, but
I think the thing some of this, whilst it may not be the same as say the 70s stuff. It does seem to be a little bit out of body, as much as if you were floating away and looking at yourself.
Yeah. I think it's psychedelic.
It's up there. There's a bit of floating going on.
I think the one thing Gong has to be is psychedelic. I think that no matter what we do, it has to be psychedelic music.
I think there's an element of floaty, regardless.
What I always think about this track, the the Restless season, what you're talking about, the floating aspect of it, is when you two did the show when David was being his ashes were being scattered on the sea in Australia.
Oh, it was too much.
That was such
too
an
much, that
amazing
show.
moment,
Oh
and you were
my
playing
God.
the track "Thank You" from I See You, and I was in the bath at the time. Again, there's a water connection here, and I was in tears. You know,
Steve had a little. Am I allowed to say?
Yeah.
Steve had a little blub.
It was such a beautiful moment. You were playing David just as he was being cast onto the oceans.
Has this become too much of an anecdote, or should I tell it? Because this is
I think
pretty.
people need to hear it if they don't know.
So here's the thing, you know, David and I, via Steve, met for the first time properly. I'd met David a couple of times with Tim Smith at festivals and at a Gong gig and stuff. But David and I met properly on the radio show, and we really bonded. Sort of sat, you know, David was sat there, and me and Steve were over here. We spent 2 hours together. Got on really well, and it was over that show that we met, and as a result of that, you know, I ended up getting asked to be in Gong, and you know, while being in Gong, I'm just trying to praise everything. While being in Gong, there was one song that David had written called "Thank You" from the last record, and we hadn't yet recorded it when we were in Brazil, and I was really into it, and I think there were some people in the band that weren't that bothered about it, but I was certainly into it, although not just me. And David was very keen, and we got back to the UK. Well, I got back to the UK. David got back to Australia, and I started working on that. And I knew David was keen for us to do it, and we got a version together. I ended up hearing it as a bit of a glam song and putting that sort of glam riff in it. Anyway, of course, while we were in the process of recording this, David got diagnosed, and it became even more poignant because
what
you
didn't really mention is that it is obviously David signing off.
Yeah, exactly.
2 years before he died, he was almost
took us a
like
while to
saying,
get the spit right, but
"This is it."
I love that. Anyway, yeah, and so, you know, this was David signing off, and so, you know, we did this, and we recorded it, and I really felt like, you know, it was one of my favourite songs from the last album. And of course, when Orlando mixed it, Orlando started putting in, like, flying in loads of the old sort of tape experiments and cuts, and William Burroughs, these sort of cuts that David had made in the 60s, right at the end. So you get all the Gong, you know, which is right really where it started with Gong. And at the time I thought, well, that's nice. There's a nice bit of conceptual continuity. Nice one, Orlando. You know. Anyway, David died, and then when David died, and we were doing our weekly show, and then Steve rang up midweek after David had died and said, well, you know, we've got to do a David Allen special. We've got to do a David Allen special because David just died, and I hadn't yet made the full connection. And then we were having dinner before the show, and then I got a text from Ian going, look, you know, David's been his ashes are getting scattered at 11:11 in Byron Bay, right?
Yeah, that's right.
In Australia. So we'd already asked our listeners, look, tell us whatever, because Steve has got pretty much everything David's done. So, like, look, pick any David song you like, and we'll play it. We'll do the show. We're about 2/3 of the way through the show, and Steve said, you know what? Let's go on till when he, because then we figured, oh look, he's going to get cremated at 12:11 in UK time.
That's right, yeah.
It's 11:11 in the morning there. It's 12:11 for us. Let's go on till then. So yeah, and as we're going on the show improvising, I said to Steve, I know which song to end on. It's 11 minutes. I know which song to end on. And man, oh man, and you know, so already it was profound enough. Already we're listening to David's music. We're all really choked up about the fact that he's died. And we're sitting there going, look, these are exactly the same positions we were sat in when David was just sat over there. And it wasn't that long ago. Honestly, it didn't, in our lives, it didn't, it was like 3-4 years earlier, you know. And as we put on Thank You, and we're looking at the clock on the wall, and it's getting up to the time that David's coming, and at this point, in come the tape loops that Orlando has put in, of Gong, Gong, Planet Gong, and all the sort of original, and it was like, you know, I mean, I know the whole thing with Gong is synchronicity. Call it what you like, but the whole thing about this band, about right back to the beginning, and about the connections that David made with synchronicity. And fuck me, if you're talking about synchronicity, how are you going to get more? And I looked over at Steve, and he was, you know, both of us, you know, not ashamed remotely to say. And now onto this song, the last song on the album. This is the longest. This was the longest to get together.
Yeah.
Now this was based on a very heavily based.
Tough. Sorry, hold on, before you go further. Tough to supply CD distance when in the past it was 45 minutes. Now you've got to supply 65.
Well,
yeah, I mean it's a big ask as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we wanted to make a short album.
we did. We
but we had so much
We
stuff.
were aiming for 46 minutes.
I thought we'll be
but it
lucky
just
if we get
kept
half
going.
an hour. Now this one, Cheb originally wrote this, and his voice is much higher, much more capable than me, and the melody used to go like this, which I'll sing, but I just. The customer is burning, the customer. So I was.
That's
I
a
wanted
committee
to sing
decision not to allow that.
No, I just can't. I know. When I said to him, "Why don't you sing it?" You know, why not? Because why don't he sing it? But he didn't want to. He said, "No, you should sing it." So I couldn't. So I like the melody,
I
but
think it's worked out great. Really good.
it wasn't the original melody.
But it's nice.
I'll take you through these bits. What they're called. There's a bit coming up which we call Thurston's Dream, because in my mind it sounds a bit like Sonic Youth. I love it. This is a lovely journey. This whole journey now.
Walking bass.
Here comes Thurston's Dream.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A bit sort of Sonic Youthy, you know?
Yeah.
Now this used to have a saxophone on it, which was beautiful. Which used to sort of go, which is really lovely, but I felt that it totally sort of scribbled over Thurston's Dream. Scribbling, that'll be Ian's autobiography. Scribbling apostrophe N, scribbling over Thurston's Dream.
This is a good track to finish. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's in the
Thin
end,
Lizzy
it's the
bit.
perfect track to finish with.
And the album's by the end, the album's totally changed from the start of it.
Well, I guess it has, but it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
It's never the same.
The album's a journey.
Cheb again on the high vocals.
Yep. The prophecy was there, and then I love this bit. This took a while to get right actually, because it starts off
we
with
had this in
a
a
different
basic form
tempo.
for a long time. We did the rest of the track and left this section.
I really like the way it.
Bass ebow comes in here, fretless bass ebow.
It's basically showing
This
up. You've
reminds
got
me of something.
two basses.
I've got two. No, it's the same bass. It's just playing it in a
Took
different
the
way.
frets off.
You know what an ebow is? It's it makes the string vibrate.
Of course, you have to talk to me
Well,
about.
for those who don't know, Steve, it makes the string vibrate without touching it.
We
It
start.
sounds like a kind of odd synthy sound, but it's not.
I mean, songwriting in some ways is problem solving, and the problem here is we end up in a different tempo in the build up, and we had to try and find a way. I think we cracked it of making it sound convincing to sort of speed up, but not in an obvious way to go dun dun digga dun, because the coda of the tune had to be faster.
You say coda.
Sort of like
Can you explain to the listeners what coda means?
I think of it as sort of the end section.
It's an end section, yes.
Coda.
It hasn't appeared. Oh, it could be a variation of an earlier song.
I was going to say classic Gong. It's sort of quite a Steve Hillage this way, isn't it?
I guess
Is it classic Gong?
It's really nice. When I listen to this section, it's still really, really fresh to me because it didn't come together until right at the end. We just sort of had little snippets of ideas throughout, and we knew it would work out fine in the end.
So glad we put that tremolo on voice on it.
In the space of how long's the album?
60 minutes.
An
Okay.
hour and 5, isn't it?
Is it?
Okay.
Four.
No, I think it's 60, isn't it?
No, it's just over now.
It's a trip. It's a
do
trip.
the math.
By the end of it, you should be far more chilled out at the end of this album than you were when you started.
You'll certainly feel like you're being on a journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. and escaped from.
And you can't
normal
necessarily
life.
say that for every album you listen to, which
No.
is a collection of songs.
Well, exactly. That's
this
true.
is actually. This is. I'm not saying it's a story. I'm not trying to get deep in it, but
No.
it does
but
feel like you've gone through a little story.
I think all the best albums do,
Yeah.
except for maybe the best of Blondie. Maybe that doesn't. But apart from, all the best albums do.
What disappoints me is that so many people will listen to the tracks individually just because
Yeah,
that's how
but
they've downloaded them, which will be a shame.
That's
because
fine. That's,
listening to it in one go from the start to finish is.
I mean, to be fair, this
a
is the
great
first time I've
experience.
ever bothered listening to it from start to finish. From
Well,
start
I
to
have, and I
finish.
still enjoy it, and I can't believe I've been working on this album for 8
I'm
months,
joking.
and I still love listening to it, which seems a bit naff, but
I think by the end
No,
of this,
it's just that's how it is.
you're more chilled out by the end of this album than you are at the start, regardless of what. Getting. I'm not saying everybody's
I'll
gonna
tell
do
you
it.
what, Steve,
You get,
I was stressed to
Even
high
without-
fuckery at the beginning of this, but...
you get in from work, you wallop this on.
Hey, look, these are Gong fans, they don't work. Come on, what are you talking about? What, we talk about Fleetwood? Look, we're not talking about Fleetwood Mac here, buddy. We're not talking about Huey Lewis and the News. These are Gong fans.
Get in from picking mushrooms, you're
Thank
stressed
you,
out.
thank you.
You can't work out which ones are the good ones, which ones are the bad ones. You come out, you've got a big satchel for you, know where you are,
Steve,
and all of a sudden,
spoken like a true future keyboard member of that.
Exactly. and by the end of it, you're going, nothing matters.
Exactly.
It's beautiful, dude. You're in. You pass the audition, and you know, in the power vested in me, you know how David got Mike Howlett in the 70s, having never heard him play, and me having never heard me play. Now in the power vested in me, having never heard you play, you're in, dude. You just passed the audition.
Not too sure that's a very wise
That's
decision.
satchel talk.
I think David's decision may have been wise, but I don't think it's that wise, what you've just come out with.
Hey, with the big
Now
bill,
this-
we got the big bill.
This, fact fans, is the first riff. Put slow down.
What?
The intro riff of this song.
What Ian's
From
From the first track?
no, from this track.
Oh,
Now,
I love the change of feel here. That's such a great change. Cheb's
Now-
idea, I guess.
oh yeah, this is Cheb's tune, right? But the tune I sing in the middle, that song that we were talking about earlier that didn't make it onto the album, Something You'll Never Be, would have been buried somewhere around sort of the middle of side 2. And the middle section of that is this tune here. So the idea that it would have this sense of
So those who
of
buy the
closure.
special edition will be able to listen to Someone You'll Never Be.
Cheb singing the
hear
high
the
vocals
connection.
again. Cheb on the octave, I can't read.
it's quite exultory as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's got a,
it's got a... Remember when Cheb came up with this tune?
I know,
It's one of the last things that
I
happened.
remember him singing it across the drum kit to Fabio. Play this. And it's all about rejoicing, isn't it? It's a celebration. We accept death and move on.
Assert your own prophecy.
just needs a bit of synthesizer. What are you saying? I'm only putting it out there.
Well, perhaps we could do a remix. You know, we could get you. You could do the techno remix.
Come on.
I'm in a really chilled out mood now, even though I've had to sit with you two.
Oh, that's saying something. Oh, this is an end, isn't it? This is an end of an album.
Cheb doing Star Trek vocals
Ebos on bass.
Really?
and Beatrix
Sounds like a
singing.
choir, but isn't it? Yeah.
Do you think we should have resolved it? Badass!
No.
I suppose you thought what you could do like they do in the film.
Pretty good.
Do the outtakes, all the mess ups,
Yeah.
all the ones where it went wrong.
Yeah, well,
And then we all laugh.
believe me,
It's
be
great.
it'd be more than a double album.
It's the modern day way. Well, that was
There we
wonderful,
are.
lads.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
wonderful. You sit there, I'll take this off.